Hi, welcome to yet another episode of Chew on This. This episode is going to be a spiritual snack. I have a very special friend with me who is a movement junkie. He's an art of living teacher. He's also an entrepreneur and someone who I really admire and look up to. Hi, Vedant. Thank you for being with us here today.
What's up, Ria? Pleasure to be here.
Well, Vedant, you've always spoken about food as being more than just a source of fuel for the body, and you've always spoken about food for the mind and the spirit and the soul. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by this?
So I think if you go as per our ancient scriptures, or as per the laws of even Ayurveda that have been established that India has brought for the world, food is classified into like sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic food, right? So like sattvic food, for example, makes you feel very pure, happy, energetic. Gives you positive emotions. Rajasic food makes you feel very. It can make you feel restless, anxiety, fear. Also ambition, give you drive. So there's positive and negative. And then tamasic food makes you feel really sluggish and sedentary. So the three types of food and examples of each could be like sattvic food is fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. Rajasic food could be like, for example, very salty, spicy food. And tamasic food could be food which is dead or stale, which has no life. Like all three of those foods have a specific role, but tweaking the quantity of each of them and monitoring that can really impact your prana and your mindset and your energy levels.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by prana?
Prana is essentially, it's a bit more subtler than your breath, but it's not really your breath. It's something more subtler. It can be termed as your life force. And the ways to uplift your prana in general is, good food, good sleep, maybe breath work, good company, good music, stuff like that, meditation, of course. So food is one of the main sources of prana. And prana essentially means just having a good life force, having a good energy level. So playing with your energy levels is a root solution to how you impact your mind and how you keep your mind happy and positive. So prana, or a source of energy, if you regulate, can help you be happy and be energetic and active.
So you're saying basically food is fueling your aura and your entire being.
Exactly, kind of, you can say that. It's one of the ways to do that.
So Vedant, you're also one of the fittest people I know, and I know you're not someone who eats for macros, micros. I know you're feeding more than that. Tell me a little bit more about how you plan your meals and your diet, what your food plate looks like.
So again, I actually tend to eat every 3.5 hours. So I do have a bit of some protein shakes in there because I'm vegetarian. But I typically eat about 4 to 5 meals in the day, and they're always at fixed times. Also, if you go as per Ayurveda, there are three types of personality, right? There's Vat, Pitta, Kapha, which is water, heat, or air. So your body system, your disposition can be either fiery or heaty, or it can be watery, or it can be air, if you believe in Ayurveda. So since I, being a Pitta or a fiery person who has too much heat or fire, those kind of people are supposed to not fast for too long and eat small meals every 3.5 hours. So that's why, me eating 3.5 hours is saving the next guy who comes into my meeting from getting his head bitten off. So I need to eat every 3.5 hours. So I need to eat at scheduled times, because what happens is, when you have, acid gets, like the stomach acid that gets secreted in your system, it gets, if let's say you're not eating when your body is used to eating at 2 p.m. So the acid will still be secreted by your stomach, the digestive enzymes, and that's why you get acidity. But you're not giving it food, so the acid just turns into acidity. But if the food comes in, then that acidity doesn't happen. That's why they say you should eat at the same times every day.
What would your lunch look like?
So my lunch and dinner both is typically like roti, sabji, dal, chawal. So I usually only eat one grain at a time. Dal, and then I'll have 2 green vegetables and a salad for sure. Either beetroot, carrot, cucumber, broccoli, some mixture of permutation combination of this. And then my dinner will also be something like this.
Interesting fact that flax bowls are all designed to follow the same philosophy that you're saying. So there's any one grain, none of the refined grains. No gluten, and it's always filled with like a bunch of veggies, protein, fats, everything. Basically what you're saying, you eat in an Indian meal, and then these are offered in different palettes and flavors as well.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
What's your take on junk food? Because people always feel like healthy food is really boring and it does not actually satiate the palate So what do your cheat days look like? Do you have cheat days, and what would you binge on then?
Eating unhealthy has become so common that eating healthy is called a diet, nowadays. So I think, but that does not mean that one should not have those days where you just let loose. Again, nowadays there's so many options, right? Like there's so many options to cheat clean or to, like for example, even flax themselves have like sugar-free, desserts. Like on the menu, see like brownie, sugar-free, etc. So you can even have, like, I have a sweet tooth, for example. I love sweets, so what I do is I typically, like, I need some sweet like taste after most of my meals. So like every second day, if I want something sweet, I have like one piece of good. I also have a lot of sugar-free desserts, like what you get at Flax, which is no refined sugar basically. I cheat once in a while, like I'm not too tough on myself because I kill it in the gym, I work hard. So I don't believe one should over-discipline themselves, which actually makes you feel the desire and craving even more because you're stifling it, you're suppressing it. So I like go easy with myself. I'm not too tough on myself. But in general, I eat clean.
Does the quantity of food really matter when you're feeding your body? How does that affect the prana?
So for sure it does. You're bang on. Basically, Ayurveda says your stomach is as big as if you hold your two palms like this, right? That's how big your stomach is. So that's how much food you should be having. Now you may ask, how far can the mountain go up? But in general, like, this is how big your stomach is. Having the optimum amount of food, so quantity and quality both matter. Most people just focus on the quality and not on the quantity. Okay, it's healthy to have a salad bowl, let me have 5 of these. It's not going to work like that. So I think quantity, quality, both are important.
Okay, we're going to play a really fun game now. We're going to flax a little bit. So I'm going to ask you things that you would eliminate from your prana plate.
Right.
And I'll find you healthier alternatives to that from the flax one.
Right.
So tell me something that you would completely never consume or avoid as
much as possible. Maybe maida for sure.
Okay, so we have a lot of gluten-free options which include psyllium husk.
Oh, nice. Isabgol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of fiber in that.
Okay. Probably bread, maybe.
We use only sourdough, freshly baked in our kitchens.
Sugar, white sugar.
We do not believe in using refined or white sugar at all. So all the desserts are sweetened with jaggery or other alternatives.
Nice. More things. Probably white rice. I would also avoid.
We have great options like quinoa, black rice, brown rice, etc. on the menu as well.
Cool. And probably maybe one more could be maybe refined oil.
Well, we only use olive oil, so I think flax builds a good prana plate, I guess.
Yeah, looks like that. Looks like it.